Hello, friend. Jim here with JB's Big Adventure, coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. And today I've got a really special new friend that we've met that's really got some important information from you, because I get asked this a lot, and I say a lot of times. And so before we get to the information, if you haven't already, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's fast, free, and easy to do. All you got to do is go to the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little red box. Tap on it, and you're subscribed. You'll know when our next video comes out. Also, give us one of those thumbs up that lets other people know it's a great video to watch about retiring to Lake Chapala. So today I'm with Tim Welch, and we're going to be discussing probably one of the things I get the most questions about, and that is when individuals are coming down, they're bringing their cars down, they're driving down. So if you're here as a permanente, this doesn't affect them in any way, does it?
No, because they have to have a Mexican car.
Right. So this is Tim Welch, and he's an expert at what he does. And Tim, first of all, why don't you go ahead and share with us a little about your background?
Sure. The ironic thing is I'm one of the very unusual people that moved here when I was 40 years old. So I moved here 24 years ago. Oops, now you know my age. And I came here on a sabbatical to Guadalajara. And after 3 months, I just decided to stay. And I had been living in Chicago. I had a wonderful life. I'm a professional musician and was working there. And I just went back, sold my house, all my goods, and came back to Guadalajara. And here I am 24 years later, and still working as a professional musician. And originally I'm from Wisconsin, but after school and everything ended up in Chicago. But I just love and adore this country. And one of the things about coming early in my life that I was able to do is become fluent in Spanish. And then I actually ended up working for the Mexican government for 20 of the years.
Wow.
So in culture, doing my music. So I've really been able to have a very unique experience. But that also allowed me to do what I'm doing today with the car business.
So let's do this. I've got some questions I want to ask you. Okay. And we're going to be talking about, is it nationalizing a car? Is that what it's called?
Yes, it's actually, exactly, nationalizing.
Okay.
Some people call it importing. And importing is involved somewhat, but it's really called nationalizing.
So this is for individuals that actually drive their vehicles down here. They're temporals, and they're able to have a temporal for the 4 years, and they can have a foreign-plated car here. But there's something that takes place once you go into permanente, and that's what Tim's going to be sharing with us today, that he's an expert at, and has been doing this for quite a while. So, Tim, first of all, what is Legalized Cars, and what services do you offer?
Okay, so Legalized Cars is the name of our company. We're based in Chapala and also the United States, but both of the owners, we live here right in Chapala, and actually we work with anybody in Mexico. And so we started 11 years ago, and it was all by accident because I was helping one of my friends nationalize her car, and she paid me to go to the border with her, and because I speak Spanish, to talk to the aduana, which is customs, and the import people, and I thought to myself, ooh, there's a need for this, because I know tons of people that are needing to nationalize their car.
Right.
So I came back and I talked to another friend, Jayme Littlejohn. She's my business partner. And actually, where we're sitting in this theater, she's the owner of the Bravo Theater. So anyway, we started the business, and it's been uphill ever since. And we've been able to help a lot of people.
Wow.
So that's what Legalized Cars is.
Okay. And how did this all begin?
Well, it began with this, helping my friend with her nationalization.
Okay.
But then we realized that there was a lot more going on, because and it was education. People didn't understand what was involved. When should they nationalize? Should they nationalize?
Right.
Maybe they should just sell their car. So we are this wealth of information that's actually accurate. Because when I go to the web boards, I get real frustrated because I read what everybody is saying, and 90% of it is incorrect. And, so I become a very patient person, and I just shut the page and I don't respond because I don't want to get into a fight.
Well, I
You've
could
seen
very
that
well.
kind of information, haven't you? Yeah.
I cannot tell you how many times I see things on social media that is just an absolute bunch of bunk.
Yes, exactly.
And it's like everybody wants to have the better story. And so, I mean, it's just amazing. So I'm glad that I hear that from you. You got the same thing going on.
Yes.
So, so why would somebody want to use you?
Okay, there are actually several reasons. Number one, because we have been in this business for 11 years. And for that, we have a lot of experience. Both of the owners were, and all of our drivers are completely fluent in Spanish. So we know what we're dealing with. And because I've worked with the government before, I know how to work with the government.
Okay.
It's a cultural and a non-cultural thing to be able to get what you need and want. And anybody, yes, you're laughing because it's true. Because when I say the word government and getting something done, it seems like an oxymoron.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
But unless you know how to do it. So that's one reason. You know, the other reason is we've lived here so many years. I've been here 24, Jayme, I think 18. And we live in this community where everyone knows us. We can't take people for a ride.
Right.
I mean, this is where our homes are.
Right.
So I think that's a really good reason to work with us, but our wealth of knowledge that we have, that we can help you. Any questions you have. We don't charge for questions.
Okay. There's one that I do want to mention, and I hope I'm not getting this out of line or anything.
Sure.
But I had a friend of mine. I remember the first time we spoke on the phone because I was actually referred to Tim. Spoke on the phone, and I had a really good friend of ours from church go and get license plates for his van. I don't know if you remember me talking about that.
Yes, I do.
And I told you where he was going, and then you mentioned to me that there's folks out there that are frauds that are taking people's money. Share, and again, I don't want to get this out. I've got here, why would we want to use you, and when do I have to think about nationalizing my vehicle? So if you can fit that in, that would be a
I
real
will.
help.
Well, you know, the first thing is a fraud. I'm not going to mention any names because that's not how I work.
Right.
But the bottom line is if you want to get your car and have it legal in Mexico, you cannot just go get plates. You know, you have to use common sense like you would in the United States or in Canada, because most of the people I think that we're referring to come from those two countries.
Right.
And when you want to change plates from one state to another, there's a process. But imagine you brought a car from Mexico to the United States.
Yeah.
You just couldn't go buy plates. You know what I mean? But people think here you can just go buy plates. But Mexico is actually very advanced technologically, and the motor vehicles is very sophisticated, and you can't just do that. You have to have import papers, pedimentos, and your car has to be exported from Canada or the United States and then brought in and nationalized into Mexico. So that's part of why you'd want to use us, because we can help you before you even explore about getting plates. Talk to us. We'll help you, and we'll explain all the problems that we've had to try to solve because people have gotten illegal plates. Because you get caught eventually, like at renewal time, which is every year, and all of a sudden you can't renew because those plates aren't from your state. You know, if let's say they're from Guanajuato or Michoacan, well, we live in Jalisco. So we have to have Jalisco plates, and they won't let you renew because you can't prove you live there. Or then they ask for we're missing your import papers. Well, of course you don't have them because you never imported your car. So it's really easy to get sucked into this because we don't want to spend money.
Right.
I'm the same way. I'm cheap. I am. And you're looking at me like, no, you aren't. It's like, oh, yes, I am. And I understand everyone else because it's not an inexpensive adventure. So that's number one. But also the other part of this is, other than scam, is knowing if I should nationalize or not. Because a lot of people, first of all, their car might not qualify. Only certain cars qualify. We can tell you that with your VIN number. But also, and by the year of the car. It changes all the time what years you can and what the VIN number is.
Okay.
That's one criteria. The other is when you should do it. Because you mentioned earlier, and it's correct, anybody who comes in on a visitor visa or a temporal can bring a car into the country with a temporary import permit.
Right.
But if you're going to stay here or you're having a lot of problems with the local police stopping you all the time because you have a foreign plate, I mean, this is a true story. I mean,
Right.
They target because they see, ooh, holiday money. And if you're sick of that, you can, if you're a visitor, you cannot import. But if you're a temporal, you can import your car, nationalize it anytime during those 4 years. Just like you can become a permanente anytime during those 4 years. If you want to, you might have to prove some more financial information. But so you can do it anytime up until the time you apply for your permanente. Once you apply for the permanente, your car needs to be gone before that because you're already considered permanente when you apply.
Okay.
So, did that help?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
And so how do I nationalize a car? What's involved in doing that?
Okay. The good part is we do it for you. because it's a complicated process,
Yeah.
the paperwork. So we meet with you and we answer all your questions. I'm not going to explain the whole process here. But basically what has to happen is your car has to go to the border.
Okay.
That's where imports are done. When you think about any country, things are, unless they're flown in, well, we're not flying your car in. Cars don't fly.
Right.
Do
Right.
they? No.
They do on the Jetsons.
Oh, that, you're right, they do. Oh, we're dating ourselves, but we remember the Jetsons. The Jetson. But anyway, our cars that we have here don't fly yet. But so they have to go to the border. And this is where a lot of people are like, no. I don't believe that. I can do it at the airport. I've had it. I know people that had it done at the airport, and those are scams.
I was going to say, maybe mention what.
Yeah, well, the scam that was going on for a while is that there was somebody that worked at the airport, okay, in the aduana there, that was making up fake import papers and selling to the people for $1,000. And then they could go get plates with the state of Jalisco. Well, the state of Jalisco caught onto that real fast. And I was actually there one day at the place where you get plates. And when all of a sudden the federal police come in, because this is a federal crime, it's not a state crime, because importation is a federal thing. And all of a sudden the feds came in and they confiscated, like there were 3-4 cars and the people.
Wow.
And they were all foreigners.
Wow.
Uh-huh. And because they had fake import papers.
Wow.
I mean, it's fraud. So, but they all came from the airport. You can't, and they've cleaned up that. It's so organized now. I mean, I can look at it, import paper, and tell you without putting it in the computer that it's false because they always make the same mistakes.
Okay. I heard that you could get plates another way and that your car doesn't have to be nationalized.
Yeah, that's another scam. And there are a couple people that are doing this. There's one guy in Puerto Vallarta right now and another one out in the Yucatan. I can't remember what city. But it's not legal. Those plates are, there again, they have connections inside and they're getting plates. But when you go to renew, first of all, they ask you to prove your residency. Well, you don't live in the Yucatan and you don't live in these other places. They never get you the plates where you live. They're in Michoacan or another state. So number one, you can't renew. So then you can't renew, so your plates aren't valid anymore, and you can't get the emissions test. And you can't get the emissions test in Jalisco, and because you live here, you need it here. And now, as of March 1st of this year, of 2023, they're giving tickets for people that don't have the emissions test. So it's a very complicated matter. First of all, it's illegal. You have to import your car or nationalize it to get plates.
Okay. And is it really necessary to take the car to the border to get that done?
Yes, that's there's no way around it at all, because that's where first of all, if it's an American car, we take it first of all to Laredo. We work in Laredo and Nuevo Laredo, and first we take it to Laredo to U.S. Customs, and that's where they export the car, stamp your title with U.S. Customs. So that's got to be done in order. That has to be done in order for Mexico to accept the car for nationalization. And then it goes over the import bridge, just not the bridge where you walk. The import bridge, and that's all done officially. we're not even allowed. Well, I keep hitting that microphone. Sorry. And that we're not even allowed there. You have to be an aduana worker and certified. So anyhow, and then, yeah, did that answer your question?
It did. It
Good,
did.
because I don't remember the question.
The temporary import permit, the tip, obviously every vehicle has to have it because of the fact it's like the car having a visa basically that's coming in.
Exactly.
So before they even bring it in, they've got to have that. So how is that, let's say for example, when it comes to the tip and somebody is a temporal, but they're going to go ahead now and they're going to stay a temporal, is the tip, does it follow the visa?
Boy, is that a good and complicated question.
Oh, okay. What's the simple answer?
I don't know. No, here's the simple answer of what I know has worked. Is the government is not exactly sure how that works either.
Oh, really?
To be perfectly honest with you, a lot of people go to a lawyer and pay to have it renewed in hopes that they're going to get their deposit back, because those deposits are like $400 US, which is a lot of money for a Canadian. It's a lot of money for an American. It's even more money for a Canadian. It's atrocious. So they're trying to get their money back. Well, I'll tell you something right now. When you look at your original tip paper, that date that's there, it doesn't matter if you get an extension or not. If you don't get your car back to the border by that date, you're not getting your money back. That I know. So now how does it tie to your visa? It's commonly accepted, that if you have your temporal, renewed, your card kind of goes with it, the tip, as long as you don't take it off. So but there's no law about that. So no one has ever been bothered about it. So I think everyone's safe with that. But my official answer is I don't know.
Okay. Do you only nationalize autos?
No, we also do bikes. We've done a lot of bikes. People love to bring their Harleys down or other bikes, and also trailers,
RVs,
and RVs. We don't get so much into buses and things, but we have somebody we can refer you to. But we nationalize all the vehicles that you can bring in as a temporal, which includes those RVs, but no commercial vehicles. We don't do commercials.
So let me ask you this. If somebody actually is driving down, they're bringing their truck and they're bringing a trailer, and then they go to get it nationalized. If the vehicle's nationalized, does the trailer automatically go along with that? They're already in the country and they want to nationalize it? Well, if somebody's watching this and what they're doing is they're going to be driving on their truck and they're bringing a trailer, the things that they actually want, they sold everything, this is what they're bringing.
Gotcha. Yes, you have to. Now, if you're coming in there, I need to explain this. If you're coming in on a tip, not importing it right away, the trailer is married to your vehicle.
Okay.
On the tip.
Okay.
They're married. They're both listed, but they're married.
Okay.
So if you decide to import at the border, because we do that for several people that they've never been here before, but they know they're staying.
Yeah.
We work with them and get everything imported, so when they get here, they can get plates.
Okay.
But if you have your vehicle, if you're going to do that to your vehicle, you also have to have your trailer, because you can't bring your trailer on a tip, because it needs to be matched to a tipped car.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
And I wanted to mention another thing about tips, because you asked me before. Part of our service that we do is when we take your car to the border to be exported from the United States, which we have a reciprocal condition for Canadians that the United States takes care of that export for them.
Okay.
But anyway, we also have your tip canceled in Mexico before we leave Mexico, so that you're no longer responsible for this vehicle being here.
Okay. Good deal. And if I can't nationalize the car, what are my options for an American or even a Canadian?
Yeah. There are several options, and then there's an option that everybody thinks they can do. That's naughty. Which one would you like to hear about first? You want to hear about the naughty option?
Okay.
Okay. People think, oh, I'll just sell my vehicle to somebody else at Lakeside. Well, there's a problem with this. Well, first of all, it's illegal. Big time. And these offenses, they seem minor, but they're actually, because cars are crossing state borders, it's a federal offense. It's not,
Wow.
You don't want to, yeah. We know as Americans, I don't know about Canada, it works between provinces, but we know what that means. A federal offense is like, whoa, keep me in the state. My problems,
Yeah.
So you cannot sell your car here. And the main reason is your car is in here under your name, under your tip. Those people are not going to go to the border and remove your tip. So if there's an accident and somebody's hurt, you know who they're going to come looking for?
Registered only.
Yes. And do you think the insurance company, even if it's fully insured, is going to pay the insurance?
Not.
Nope. And I know several people this has happened to, and it's not good.
Wow.
Because you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pesos. And you're in jail until you come up with the money.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one of the alternatives. The other alternative you were asking about, what was that question again? About the ways that...
And if I can't nationalize the car, what are the other options?
Yes. So the other option that we do for people is we will, if it's an American car, only American plated, we take a lot of cars to San Antonio, Texas, to CarMax and sell them for our clients.
Oh, wow.
So, we just got back the other day, and I have another one going in 2 weeks. This happens a lot because people decide that importing is too expensive, or no, I just don't want to deal with this.
Right.
So we will do that service. Or I want to give this to my great nephew. We will drive the car to wherever you want in North America.
Oh, wow.
To give that car. And that's for Canadians. Here's a problem. They can't sell their car in the United States. So, for example, we're taking one the end of next month, all the way to Vancouver Island.
Wow.
Back to the dealer, but there is no option. He can't import it because it doesn't qualify, and he has to get it out of the country.
So this is probably one of the most important questions.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do what you're doing here legally?
At Lakeside, we're the only people right now. There used to be several other people. Wait, was that English? Several other people. Sorry. There were other people that did this, but they weren't all. They were doing illegal pedimentos. The pedimento is the import paper, and facturas, fake. Well, they've been either run out of town. Some of them were local lawyers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a real famous lawyer in Chapala was doing that. It's great money for just, having PageMaker and making up your own fake forms.
Wow.
So, but the problem is they can't do that anymore because the government, it's too strict. They know when it's fake. And
Gotcha.
You're the one there and you're the one responsible.
So is there anything else? Is there another question I should have asked, or is there anything else you can think of that would be a benefit to our viewers?
I think the main thing is that I or my business partner, Jayme, we are willing at any time at no cost to answer your questions. And I think the main thing is before you go to talk to somebody about plates, before you trust what you read on Facebook in the chat rooms, I'm serious, because they're wrong.
Yeah.
Because they heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody who heard it from somebody.
And the stories all got better.
Right. It's like playing, remember we used to play that game in school where
Telephone.
Well, by the third person, it's just, and by the time you get around the room, you're not even talking about cars,
Right.
So it really, you're welcome to come to us. We will answer your questions. We don't put pressure. It's your car, your decision, your life. But we will give you alternatives, and then we will help you get all the information you need to make an intelligent decision.
Fantastic.
Jay in front of it. You can't.
Well, friend, I hope this has been really helpful for you. I can see so much value in it just from the number of folks I've talked to that have been wondering about this issue, about what do they do with their car after their temporal and they end up going into their permanente. So Tim and Jayme would be the ones you want to call, and I'll make sure to have all their contact information in the description of the video below. So
Great.
hope it's been helpful for you. So friend, if you haven't already, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's a great community. I know you want to be a part of it. It's fast, free, and easy to do. You can go to the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, a little red box, tap on it, and you're subscribed. Also stop by and give us a thumbs up. Let's let
Yes.
you know, other people know it's a great video to watch about retiring and important information here at Lake Chapala. Stop by, say hi, ask a question, maybe let us know of a video idea that you'd like to see, and make sure too that you smash the bell, because that way you'll be immediately notified when our next video comes out, and you don't want to miss our next video. So Tim, thank you so much for
my
being with us.
pleasure.
Really
Thank you
appreciate all the
for what
information.
you do for the community.
Well,
This is really helpful.
it's all from the heart, and I really care about people. I really care about people. So as always, thank you for being a part of this community and supporting this channel. Have an awesome day. We'll see you on the next video.